expressway facing unit, not important. Not near MRT, not important. No reputable school within 1 kilometer, also not important. So what's important? So imagine a new property launch. It is from a top developer nestled in a quiet, low density area, and it's promising this sort of resort style living experience. But here's the kicker. It is not near to an MRT station, no high floor units. So for you, is this a hidden gem or is it a deal breaker? Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we have yet another new launch review. And the objective of this video here is to distill the specifics of Faber Residences, delve into exactly who this project is designed for, and maybe more importantly, who it is not for. And of course, I'll try to uncover the details about its pricing and investment potential, and hopefully helping you decide if this opportunity aligns with your own real estate objectives. Anyway, if you are keen for a non-obligatory one-to-one consult, here's my number over here and feel free to contact me. Don't need to be paiseh. So back to Faber Residences. First, we will run through the project overview. Just a quick one. Don't want to bore you too much with all these nitty-gritty details because you can pretty much Google all this online yourself. And this is a 99-year leasehold development by Guaco Land and TID Residential. TID Residential is basically a joint venture between Hong Leong and Mitsui Fudosan, located along Faber Walk in Clementi in District 5. 399 residential units ranging from 2-bed, 2-baths all the way to 5-bedder, total of 5 stories high. It is also near established schools such as Nanhua Primary, Nanhua High, NUS High, and institutions of higher education such as NUS, as well as several international schools. And all this will help in your rental demand next time. Residents here can take a 15 minutes walk, which is about 1 kilometer, to the upcoming Jurong Town Hall MRT station on the Jurong Regional Line, the JRL for short, which is just one stop away from the Jurong East MRT interchange. And this site is adjacent to the Faber Heights landed housing estate and along the Sungai Pandan waterway, with direct access to the Ulu Pandan Park connector. And if you're into nature, you'll be glad that this site is also close to a host of amenities and nature parks, including the upcoming old Jurong Line Nature Trail, which is part of a green recreational network within the new Clementi Nature Corridor, which connects residents to the Jurong Lake Gardens and the Rail Corridor. So next, we talk about the development density, which is essentially how many units are built relative to the size of the land, which is a key factor in determining how busy a condo might feel in daily life. Faber Residence sits on a land size of 277,659 square feet and has a total of 399 units. And this works out to be approximately 1 unit per 696 square feet. And to put things into perspective, compare this to the newer nearby resale condo. We have Twin Vew at 1 unit per 339 square feet, Parc Riviera 1 unit per 271 square feet, and Whistler Grand at 1 unit per 295 square feet. And over at the other side of Clementi, we have the newly TOP project, Parc Clementis, a mega development of over 1,400 units, sitting on a huge land size of 633,000 square feet. And this works out to be about 1 unit per 437 square feet. Then we have Clervon, also TOP around the same time as Parc Clementis at 1 unit per 278 square feet. So what does this mean for you at Faber Residence? It offers a very low density living environment, which translates to a less crowding at the common facilities such as the gym or pool, and a generally more spacious feel throughout the entire estate. And don't undermine this point because this is a super rare commodity given that Singapore is getting more and more crowded. The low density means you can expect ample walking spaces and not a lot of residents to vie with for the condo facilities, and a general sense of openness that is increasingly hard to find in today's high-rise denser development. And if you are familiar with Guaco's most recent projects such as Lentor Mansion and Springleaf Residences, both which did super well on launch day, you will notice that Guaco has very thoughtful site planning, and Guaco likes to build this lawn space that further adds to the openness of the development, which also creates good block-to-block distance. For example, take a look at Lentor Mansion site plan over here. You see this grand lawn in front here. And for Springleaf Residences, same thing. We have this grand lawn in front of the conserved block. So hopefully we can see this at Faber Residences as well. And even without the official site plan available just yet, we can start to anticipate how the block orientation and facing could be. You can probably expect the park connector views with lots of greenery. The west facing stacks should largely be unblocked, even though some units might have the west sun coming in. Then the other side, the east facing unit, will have the landed facing units. And hopefully Guaco will build less units facing south because it faces AYE, or they could jolly well just build the grand lawn over here to create a bit more setback away from the expressway to try to reduce the noise from the road. So next we try to address the elephant in the room. The thing that might be an immediate red flag for some potential buyers because Faber Residences is not near any MRT station. So for those who absolutely need to be within, say, a few minutes walk of an MRT station, this might very, very well be a deal breaker for you. So while it is true that you can't walk directly to the MRT, there is actually a bus stop right outside. And according to the tender specifications, developer has to build a sheltered linkway directly linked to the bus stop. The buses offer direct connections to Clementi, Jurong, NUS, NUH, and even CBD. Actually, if you think about it, taking a direct bus might even be comparable in time if you walk to an MRT station, you wait for the train, and then the train ride itself. So maybe the lack of an MRT really isn't much of a deal breaker, and I think we should address this point using a data-driven approach, which if you have been watching my previous YouTube videos, you'll know that this is what I do for a living. So let's pull out the profitability of nearby resale condos, the nearest one being Waterfront at Faber, TOP in 2018, all profitable transactions with zero unprofitable transactions. That said, when you look at the annualized returns, highest at 4.44%, the rest at about 3+%. Not the most fantastic in my opinion. And I think this can be attributable to two main reasons. Number one, a lot of them are actually dual key units, good for rental, but not the best for capital appreciation. Secondly, which is more important, check out the floor plans here, and you'll understand why. I don't want to delve too much here and offend anyone staying here because there are just some people out there who likes this kind of layout lah. Next, we have three very new condos on the other side of AYE. We have Twin Vew, Whistler Grand, and Parc Riviera. So Twin Vew TOP in 2022, also 100% profitable, zero unprofitable transactions. Highest annualized gains at 8.44%, with most of them at around 6+%. Whistler Grand also TOP sometime in 2022, all profitable, zero unprofitable transactions. Highest annualized returns at 10.38%, with the rest at around 7 to 8%. Then Parc Riviera TOP in 2020, a lot of AYE facing units as well, 100% profitable transactions, zero unprofitable transactions. Highest annualized returns at a staggering 14.26%. And mind you, this second one, this 4-bedder stack 1 unit is an AYE facing unit. So who say expressway facing unit, not near MRT, sure lose money. So all these resale condos in the area showed 100% profitability. And more importantly, none of these are directly next to an MRT. And that's a key point. And this track record clearly suggests strong sustained demand in the area, even without that direct MRT access. So moving on to the next point, Faber Residence is within 1 kilometer to the super popular Nanhua Primary School. It is a SAP school and offers GEP program as well. I've plotted the distance via the URA map. Seems like all block will be within 1 kilometer, but please do your own due diligence on this point. And if you have checked the historical balloting results for Nanhua, you'll know that it is always oversubscribed. Look at the data here, since 2022 all the way to 2024, it has always been oversubscribed for all the different phases. It is that competitive, and even alumni often need to ballot if they are not within that 1 kilometer radius. So being within 1 kilometer gives your child priority to enter that school. And this is an important factor because we know that there are a lot of desperate parents, desperate buyers out there who will buy within 1 kilometer to a good school, and this will help in your resale value. But hold on, wait. Is it really that important to have a primary school within 1 kilometer to your condo to guarantee you capital upside? So let's take a look at some data point here again. We have number one, Park Clementi's TOP in 2023 and Clermont in 2024, just 1 year apart. Look at the profitability for the larger unit types, more specifically the 3, 4, and 5-bedder for these two condos. So Park Clementi's, similar to Faber Residence, has Nanhua within 1 kilometer. Average profits for the 3, 4, and 5-bedder at around 545K. Highest annualized gains at 12%, but the rest between 9 to 10%. Clermont, on the other hand, not within 1 kilometer to Nanhua. Average profitability for the 3, 4, and 5 bedder at around 583,000. Highest annualized gains from at around 11%. So you can see from these two data set that the profitability of these two condos is very similar. Doesn't mean not within one click means you are less profitable. So being within 1 kilometer to Nanhua is just, to me, good to have. Even if you are not, definitely not a deal breaker in my very humble opinion. Just a very, very overly used marketing gimmick by agents lah. So if you have watched my video very carefully thus far, I've already said a couple of things that are not that important in determining the profitability of a condo. Expressway facing unit, not important. Not near MRT, not important. No reputable school within 1 kilometer, also not important. So what's important? To me, it is really a combination of many, many factors. So to me, definitely pricing and the efficiency of layouts are the more important factors to consider. And in terms of pricing, Guaco acquired this land back in November 2024 at 900 PSF per plot ratio, and there are a total of 3 bids. The second highest bidder came in at about 827 PSF PPR, which is about 8% lower, and this signals developers' interest and competitive positioning in securing this site. However, just a minor point to note that is at the other side of District 5, which is now known as Alta, it received 6 bids, twice the number of bids compared to this site at Faber Walk. However, the fewer bids can be attributable to Faber Walk having a lower plot ratio of only 1.4 compared to Alta 3.5. And this lower plot ratio will definitely limit the building height and potentially reduce the number of units that developer can build, which in turn reduce the developer's overall ROI. So back to the land cost of Faber Residence, 900 PSF PPR for this site, and taking reference from the most recent launch, which is Springleaf, also developed by Guaco Land. Guaco got Springleaf Residence at a very similar price point as Faber Residences at 905 PSF PPR. Anyway, sidetrack a bit. Springleaf did super well on launch day, almost sold out. 92% sold with an average PSF of 2175 PSF. And I reckon Faber Residence should be selling at around this range as well. Just to reiterate, this is what I feel Faber Residence will sell at on an average. All these estimated pricing are just based on my own opinion, not official, not from developer or not from my own company. Actual prices are not released yet. And if you are familiar with how new launches work, developer would typically release the starting from prices or what they call the indicative prices during the show flat preview stage. And the actual full price list of each individual specific unit will only be released on the actual booking day, which is the day you select your unit and pay the 5% booking fee lah. And if you don't know how this works, feel free to drop me a text. Happy to run through the process in greater detail with you. So let's check out the competitors around it. First, we have Parc Riviera, TOP in 2020. The 2-bed 2-bath 710 square feet transacted this year at 1.27 million at around 1788 PSF. Twin Vew TOP 2022 transacted 1.368 million at 1842 PSF. Whistler Grand TOP also in 2022, they don't have the 2-bed 2-bath layout, only either the 2-bed 1-bath or the 2-bed 2-bath plus study layout. The 2-bed 2-bath plus study transacted all the way up to $1.5 million already. So for Faber Residence, official floor plans are not out yet, and I'll be taking reference from Guaco's previous project, which is Lentor Mansion and Springleaf Residence. Faber Residence will have one type of 2-bed 2-bath at 646 square feet. The layout should be the same as what Springleaf Residence offered. Based on the average price of 2175 PSF, it should come up to around 1.4 million. I think pretty reasonable price given that when this development TOP, it will be almost a decade newer than these 3 competitors. And if you are buying for investment, try to keep it below the $1.5 million mark, because in terms of resaleability, people will feel that they could get a bigger and a very, very functional 2+ study layout at Whistler Grand instead. Next, for the 3-bedder at 818 square feet for Faber Residence. And for Guaco, I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it lah. This was one of the fastest unit types to get sold out at both Lentor Mansion and Springleaf Residence. Super efficient layout. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, decent living and dining space, and an open kitchen concept. For Parc Riviera, we have something similar, 904 square feet, transacted 1.588 million, 1756 PSF. Twin Vew, 904 square feet as well, transacted 1.76, 1947 PSF. Whistler Grand, 958 square feet, transacted 1.97 million, 2056 PSF. And for Faber Residence, estimated average price could come up to around 1.78, 1.8 mil, which is super attractive when you compare it to these three resale condos. And I strongly believe this specific unit type will get at least 90% sold on launch day. And for 5-bedder at 1485 square feet, estimated to be at around $3.2 million on average. And I know some people will say, this kind of pricing might as well get landed freehold. You take a look at the current stock on Property Guru, landed for sale in the area. I sought by the cheapest, easily almost $5 million. The rest $6 million onwards. All these need to do at least some form of A&A one, full cash without leverage. So 3.2 million can get landed, move-in condition or not. I leave it up to you to decide. So now if we compare this pricing to current launches, projects like Alta and Lindenwoods both are averaging at around 2,500 PSF, and even projects all the way in Jurong like your Sora and Lake Garden Residences where there isn't MRT as well, recently sold 2,500 PSF. So at an entry price of around 2001 to 2002 for Faber Residences, appears pretty well positioned. Anyway, if you would like to know what is a good price to enter and what is my walkaway price for any of the unit types, especially the 3-bedroom premium and the 4-bedder, as I didn't run through in detail in this video here, do reach out to me via WhatsApp and I'll be happy to share more with you. And I also want to point out that this location seems to be of a strategic advantage as well, the whole Jurong transformation story, and I'm pretty sure you have heard many agents singing the same tune. While Faber Residence isn't directly in the heart of the transformation, it is right smack outside this transformation zone. And this means that you could potentially benefit from the future growth, the job creation, infrastructure upgrades without having to deal with the immediate noise and pollution of major construction. And so to kind of conclude my analysis here, Faber Residences is positioned quite differently from the many recent launches you are seeing out there. It is not a mega development, but the sheer land size and low density will definitely attract those seeking a more family-oriented, peaceful living environment, which will help in the resaleability next time. So for a very discerning buyer like yourself who's watching my YouTube video now, should the absence of an MRT station always be the sole criterion for running away? Or is it worth exploring opportunities that might not fit that conventional wisdom, but offer very strong underlying fundamentals and a unique value proposition? Maybe have a more holistic approach, considering factors beyond just MRT access might actually unveil some hidden value. And this is something for you to mull over. And if you'd like to find out more about how to be a smart investor to catch the next wave of the Singapore property, I have actually done up a YouTube video and you can actually click on the link here or somewhere here to understand better. And for me, Faber Residences actually represents solid, predictable returns in a proven location rather than explosive growth potential. It is the property equivalent of a blue chip stock lah. Steady, reliable, but not very exciting. So anyway, developer is targeting to preview the show flat sometime in September or October. So just drop me a WhatsApp message if you want to be informed on any first-hand information or would like a non-obligatory one-to-one consult with me. I will probably do a part 2 when developer starts to release the actual floor plan, site plan, and once the indicative pricing are out. And so with that, I have come to the end of this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and if the analysis helped you, smash that like button and subscribe for more honest property reviews. See you in the next one. Bye bye.